Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mackenzie and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to do a quarterly favorites video. So I have toyed with this idea of doing favorites videos about what to put in them and how often to do them. I thought about doing them monthly, but then I figured that would be too frequent. So I've decided on quarterly. I have apps that I've been loving, YouTubers that I've been watching, drinks that I've been drinking, and my favorite books of the first quarter of 2021 will wrap up the end of the video. So not every quarterly favorites video is going to have the same kind of categories. I am, of course, always going to round off the video with my favorite books of the quarter, so that way you guys can always stay up to date, and it's kind of why we're all here, right? I've decided that I am going to really just talk to you about anything that I've really been loving in the quarter, whether that be makeup choices, it might be stationery, it might be blankets I have found, or decorations I'm loving. But today we're starting with apps. So I have two apps to talk to you about, and they are both gonna kind of revolve around books and booktube, so at least they're on theme. They're on theme. The first app that I want to talk to you about is called Canva. So this app is pretty interesting. I found it when I started using Instagram and using it for my books, and then I realized that I could do much more with it through the YouTube. I feel so old. And then I realized I could use the animation feature to make cute little intro and outro videos for YouTube, my thumbnails, and everything else. It's really a simple app. There is a free version and a paid version. If you get the paid version, you get all of these other kind of fun elements to add to your thing. But I just really use the free version, and honestly, as a small booktuber, small bookstagram account, it's really working out for me well. And I feel so creative. So creative. Every time I open that app, I'm like, ooh, what are we gonna make today? It's very exciting for me. The second app that I want to talk to you guys about is called Libby. So I talked a little bit about this app in my audiobook recommendations video. Basically, this is just my audiobook app. So you can rent audiobooks or ebooks through this Libby app. You put on your library cards, you can have more than one library card on there, and you just browse. Whatever ebooks or audiobooks that those libraries have available, you can borrow them, you can keep them for 21 days, put them on a hold, all that jazz. It's really made it easy for me to find audiobooks and actually get a hold of them, listen to them, and try them out as I've started my audiobook journey. Next, we're going to talk about YouTubers. So obviously, I spend all of my free time on YouTube, whether I'm creating on there or watching on there, and I watch a lot of people. So the first YouTuber I want to talk about is Jess Owens. Her YouTube name escapes me. I think it's just Jess Owens. She is amazing. First of all, she's so funny. She does book community videos. So it's really just the tea about the book community and what's been going on with authors, publishing, Twitter drama. She is my go-to for information because I am not on Twitter. I know it is just going to cause me an obscene amount of toxicity in my life, and I just don't need that here in my brand new circle. And it's funny too because even though these are like drama videos, she is so funny and so positive that I'm never watching her videos and getting upset. Of course, it's upsetting what happens in real life, as it always is, but I'm watching Jess and she's talking about it and it's so funny, and at least we can wallow in the sorrow together of how the book community will know no peace at all. She is one of probably two booktube creators that every time they post, I'm like, ooh, we have to watch it now. I'll put down a book, I'll put down my colors, I'll stop watching anything else, I'll stop cooking dinner. Honestly. The next YouTuber I want to talk about is Uncarly. So I have just recently found her. I think she's so funny. I think her videos are fun to watch and they're interesting. So she is kind of like booktube and kind of like does freeform videos as well. Very, very funny, and I just kind of love the dry humor of everything that's happening. It really is a nice break to sit down with an Uncarly video, okay? And the final YouTube channel I want to talk about is called Nemo's Dreamscapes. So this YouTuber creates like 3-hour, 4-hour music stream videos, and they're so cute and they're so sweet. So basically it'll be like old school like cartoons or something as the visual, and he'll like put some filters over it so that way it looks like the person is sleeping, or like it's animated a little bit differently, and then it's on a loop, and then it's like oldies music, but you're sleeping in a dream, or oldies music playing in the living room, but you're on the porch and it's raining, or something like that. It's so beautiful, and if you just put that on while you're reading, oh my god, it just creates this beautiful, atmospheric, sweet little serenity, peaceful haven. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, so that was YouTube. Let's talk drinks. So I have a cold drink and a hot drink for you guys, all right? Do you remember the whipped coffee? The whipped coffee that happened? It was like all the craze, all over Pinterest, and then I saw videos on it for Instagram and everything else. That's what I've been doing for my cold coffees. No more Starbucks. No. I will not stand in another hour-long Starbucks line for a cold coffee. It's not happening. I'll have one at home with my level of sweetness that I enjoy. And I'm not going to deal with no mean lady in front of me or behind me. Alright? It's just not happening. I'm making my coffee at home. Okay? So basically what I do is I just take some instant coffee, I take a tablespoon of that, a tablespoon and a half of hot water, whip it up real nice, and then I put my creamer and milk in there, and it's delicious, and I love it, and it is such a sweet treat to have when it's hot outside and the desert sun is beating you in the face. And then, on the off chance that the desert decides to become cold again, we have a sweet London fog. Have you heard of it? It's just Earl Grey tea, and then you put some almond milk in there. And it's beautiful, and it's glorious, it's delicious, it's heavenly. I also add some sugar in there because I'm a child and I like everything to be super sweet and delicious, so I mean, do you? And now we're here finally to the books. I have 2 books to talk to you about. My 2 favorites for this first quarter are going to be The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So I know there is a lack of representation in this book. I understand it in regards to people of color. However, what I felt was represented in this book that truly spoke to me, truly called me, truly spoke my truth. It was strange to have somebody else speak my truth, but it was there, and it was interesting, and I loved it, and it made me feel vulnerable in a good way, right? Okay. Addie LaRue, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The book is about this girl, Addie LaRue, who lives in, like, super long ago France, and she just wants to be free to live her own life, and she is being put into an arranged marriage. She doesn't want to do that, so she basically makes a deal with the devil to not be in that marriage, and what he ends up doing for her is allowing her to live her own life forever and be immortal. But what she gives up is everybody forgets who she is as soon as they basically stop looking at her or the next day. And it's really sad, and that whole story is really sad. But what spoke to me truly is not Addie LaRue, the character, at all. It is the person she ends up meeting about halfway through the book, which is Henry. And the whole gimmick of this is that Addie LaRue, who is not remembered at all, meets Henry in, like, 21st century New York, and he remembers her. And it's so sweet, and they figure out, why does he remember her, and how can they live together, and all of this jazz. It's amazing. I can't exactly tell you everything that Henry means to me without going into spoilers for Addie LaRue, but I can definitely try. Henry is a person who is almost the opposite of Addie LaRue. Addie wants to live her life, and Henry just wants his to be over because it is painful, it's hard, it's difficult. He talks about how he is constantly living with a storm on his peripheral vision, that even if it's not a bad day that day, he knows that a bad day is coming or bad things are happening, and he can't be happy living his life. And it's kind of amazing because Henry's perspective, you get kind of alternating perspectives, and to see Henry's perspective, which is so different from Addie, seeing how they like really needed each other in almost every sense of the, they really just needed each other. Seeing how Henry and Addie were totally different perspectives of life, but needing each other to understand what the complexity and the reality of life truly is. It's just, it was amazing to watch that relationship, but it was even more amazing to just see the character of Henry exist. Because it's hard to just exist. It's hard for things to be, you know, pretty much okay in your life, but you also feel like the world is ending and it's horrible and you can't see what you have through the storm that you're going through. And that's what Henry's character is about, and that's what truly spoke to me, and what I felt was like almost finally represented on page in anywhere. I mean, there's a lot of good sad movies that, you know, talk about the topic of people not entirely wanting to live their life or feeling like they are living their life, but it really focuses a lot on like that one moment of, you know, suicidal thought or ideation. But it's different to kind of just live with, like, life is horrible, and I'm living it because I have to. You know? And so, to see someone, because it's not one moment, it's not an entire life of feeling suicidal. It's sitting in the sun on a nice day and seeing clouds surround you. It's an interesting feeling. It's something that I haven't seen talked about as if like that's how you live your life, you know? So I love it, and it hurts, and it feels good, and it speaks to me, and it speaks to my trauma and to my truth, and really, really good. Like I said, I understand the lack of representation in regards to people of color. I totally get that, and I'm not saying that that's not happening. It's just something that spoke to me on a different level and represented a different part of me. So I can't deny that it is a favorite of mine, and definitely a new favorite. And then the last book I want to talk about is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Okay, so this book, I picked it up because I thought it would be fast. I was just going to read it. I didn't think anything of it. I had zero expectation when I went into reading this book. So basically, it is about a girl, her name is Cassiopeia, and she lives with her horrible family. They treat her very poorly, and basically like a servant. And then one day she opens her grandfather's chest, and out pops a Mayan god of death. And he is the king of Xibalba, or the underworld, and he asks her, hey, your family imprisoned me, help me get back to my kingdom and my throne, and, you know, I'll favor you in life. And that premise seemed, you know, pretty interesting, so it's not like I thought I was gonna have a bad time at all. I definitely thought I was going to enjoy it. I just didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy it. Oh my goodness, the talk of Xibalba and the descriptions of like, what is it, like 19th century Mexico? Oh my goodness, it was amazing. And then the characters and the love that they had, oh my goodness. You want to talk about books where it's just pining the whole time and you are supposed to want these characters to be together the whole time and like almost nothing happens. Oh my god, that's the book for you. You want to read a book about pining? That's the book. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's sad and beautiful and adventurous and really about the soft tenderness of forgiving someone but not continuing to allow them to hurt you. Forgiving and moving on. Forgiving and letting go. Is very good, very beautiful, very amazing, and kind of a favorite in a different way, where Addie LaRue spoke to me in a sense of revealing a truth or mirroring a truth that I know about myself. Gods of Jade and Shadow really just took me on a ride and gave me a fairy tale from my people. I'm not very connected to my Latin heritage or anything like that. And so to just kind of have a fairy tale of a girl and a death god and Xibalba, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It spoke to a part of my identity that I felt hasn't had anyone speak to it in a while. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. If if I recommend any books to you at all, it is Gods of Jade and Shadow, Silvia Moreno Garcia. Please. Please. So that's it. That's the video. Those were my quarterly favorites. So that was quarter 1. I'll be doing another favorites video after second quarter, so in another 3 months. And I'll see you then. I hope to see you then. Hopefully we'll have some different kind of topics to discuss. But like I said, we'll always round out the video with books so we can stay on theme. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!